which one did you want to touch on next? If you still have time, or do you got to head out? We got rookies
Let me
and
go
contenders.
let's go to the last one with the Cavs and talk about them some because I
The
like the
Cavs
Cavs.
versus the modern Cavs versus the Spurs.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was glad you made that video because it was funny. I actually brought up the Cavs on one of Clan streams and like
Yeah, you were
Clan.
talking about Darius Like the reason I wrote it down is because you were like Darius Garland is a Tony Parker that can shoot, and I was like,
Oh,
well, then you
he
got to
is.
think about is Jarrett Allen Kawhi, is Evan Mobley Tim Duncan, like are we making another Spurs team here? So
He's definitely the closest things in terms of like his play style that I've seen to Tony Parker. Like when he gets in the lane and launches off that floater, it looks identical to Tony to me. Um, he's a little bit more modern with the shot, but I love Darius Garland. That guy's a stud. Um, but they are a little bit built like we were. I think they have the potential to, be a little bit more dominant in terms of athletic ability than the Spurs were. I mean, Evan Mobley is kind of that DL role where he's inside, outside, handles the ball, shoots, and all that. But he's better than Boris Diaw was, let's be honest. And Jared Allen has that anchor role that Duncan has. Obviously, Duncan's better all the time, but they
yeah,
do play a similar thing. They're there for the cleanup and stuff. And don't look now, but over like his last 20 games, Isaac Okoro's shooting like 38% from three
yeah.
and playing really good defense. I mean, it's it's funny because I'm about to release a video where I condemn people for doing this, but that's kind of their version of Kawhi there.
Yeah.
I'm releasing a video on draft comparisons and how often people compare guys to Kawhi Leonard and how it
Yeah.
needs to stop.
Yeah,
But
people. That's why I was debating whether or not to even bring the Cavs Spurs thing up, because especially with the Spurs too, like people hate comparisons, but especially Spurs fans, because like I made the video. Is Giannis this era's Tim Duncan? People did not like that video. People hate like whenever we compare Spurs players, but I feel like Giannis, honestly, he has a similar style of game. Besides Giannis, obviously being more behind the arc now, becoming more versatile because that's
yeah,
the way
it's
big men have to be nowadays. So
and I also just look how he conducts himself. I mean, he's kind of under the radar. He's just like a quiet, nice guy. His team's never really talked about, but they're always there in contention.
yeah,
And all that, and he's always there to shoulder the load. St. Peter's is up by one. Um,
we're both
sorry,
paying attention to it. Yeah,
but yeah, and like with draft comparisons, I'm about to release this video once I finish editing it. I'll throw out there like when I say that Darius Garland is similar to Tony Parker, it's by no means me saying, oh, they're going to have an identical career. Darius Garland's going to be a 4-time champ and a multiple-time All-Star. No, it just means that the way they play is similar.
yeah. People
And
don't understand that. It's like
God,
there's a difference between play style and career similar.
I got flamed years ago, and I mentioned this in my video because one of the big names going around in the draft was Tony Bradley when he was coming out of Carolina in 2017. And I did a write-up on him, and my comparison for him was Tim Duncan. And everyone's like, dude, that's a huge stretch. I'm like, I didn't say he was going to be Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
It's just the guy even runs like Tim Duncan. And I stand by that to this day. If you watch how Tony Bradley does, he's got the same set of moves. His shot is the same form as Tim Duncan's. Obviously, Duncan was much better, but yeah, we've got to stop doing this thing where we compare players and assume it's how their career is going to turn out. It's just their play style. And I mean, I can say that I play basketball like Zach Randolph because I can hit the occasional three and I like to bruise in the post, but I'm nowhere as good as Zach Randolph. Come on.
Yeah.
like, come on. The comparisons, if you're going to compare careers, it stops with that we both wore number 50 and that's it.
Yeah.
but yeah, so when we make this comparison, we're not saying that they're going to be the Spurs and win 5 titles. It's just they're built very similarly.
Yeah.
And even Cedi Osman coming off the bench is that knockdown shooter, kind of like we had with Marco Bellinelli coming off the bench, and stuff like that. So they're embracing similar roles and things like that. I mean, Lauri Markkanen coming off the bench playing like a Diaw role, kind of like a combination Thiago Splitter Boris Diaw role, honestly. So I mean, it's a fair comparison to make. But that Cleveland team, man, they're fun.
Yeah,